it's like horrible or whatever, and it's starting going up, and he wakes up and he's like, "Don't touch me ever, or I'll kill you," or something. And his face is starting to get bad. He's got like crusts on the side of his lips. His eyes are super bloodshot. Like all the veins in his eyes are all red, bright red. They've all popped and stuff. And only thing that isn't red is his irises, irises and pupils. And he's like, "Don't ever touch me," and just lets go of the guy and lets him go basically. But it was a pretty stern warning. So that is the end of the third day. So the fourth day, they realize that their oxygen is getting too low, and they're like, "Oh crap, dude, we need to get out of here. I don't know how we're gonna get out of here, but we should probably just wait for Houston to stay here. So we should stay here." And the guy who's uninfected, he's like, he just wakes up, and the guy's still sleeping because he's fatigued still for some reason. And a couple hours pass, and oh wait, no, this is still third day. Sorry, third day. This is still third day. So like a couple hours passed, and so the guy goes to sleep, and the guy who's infected, he wakes up during the middle of the night just for no reason, and takes the camera up and starts filming the guy who's asleep just for no reason, and then turns it on himself, and it goes into fast motion, like really fast motion, and then like his head starts wobbling everywhere. It's like blah, 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 and he gets really like, I don't know, like angry. He just looks angry. He's not angry, he just looks like it. He's just paranoid. And he's like, and then his face, it gets really bright purple because of all of his, like, well, not his entire face, but just the veins. He starts poking out, and his eyes get even worse, bloodshot, more crust around his face. His, like, beard has gotten worse because of his poor hygiene skills. So the fourth day, then he's like, "Oh, oxygen's getting low, we need to go." And so basically they get as much film as they can in a panic and put it in a burlap sack. They both get their suits on and take as much oxygen as they can with them and get on the rover and start heading towards the Russian lander to see if they could fix it and launch it up to the other one to synchronize orbit and do a spacewalk over to the thing that's orbiting them. And this is when they get comms back up, and they're like, "We're leaving, we need to get the Russian one." And they're like, "Don't do that, that's bad, we'll come and get you," or something. And he's like, "No, we need to go." So they get on the rover, and they start going, and about halfway, the infected guy's like, "I can sense them, they want me with them, I'm coming home," and like just rolls off, because he's fatigued, he can't really do much, he just rolls off, he can't jump off. The guy's like, "No," and he tries to like lean towards him, and at that time he grabs the steering wheel so it turns really sharp and flips. So everything's flipping over, and the camera just goes off in a random direction, and it's pointed at them when it's crashed, and the uninfected guy is fine, and the infected guy is nowhere to be found. So the guy who's uninfected starts searching around for him, and he's like, he finds him, he's stumbling around, and he walks up to a crater, and he's like, "This is where they're coming from. You need to get out of here. You can't save me. Let me die here." So he's like, "No," and the guy who's infected just standing on there, and all of a sudden his feet come out from under him, just for like something hit him. His feet come out from under, and it drags him under into the crater, and the crater is super dark, and the only form of light they have again is the flashlight thing, or the flash of the camera. So he's like, the guy who's uninfected dives in after him, and he's like, "No, we can't leave you. I can't leave you." And he can't find him, and you see these flashes, right? And all of a sudden these rocks just start moving all over, and the rocks around him just start moving and start growing legs. And he's like, whoa, what the heck's happening? So he runs out of the crater up on, and just starts running towards where he thinks the Russian thing is, and eventually he finds it, and he gets it up the power going, running. He has enough fuel to launch. Etiquette. It's in pretty much fine condition without all the scratches and blood around it, and so he gets it going, and he's gonna launch it, and he hears comms getting up, and he's like, the Russians, since this is the Russian lander, he's talking to Russians. He's like, the Russians respond to him, and he's like, is anyone there? Hello. And the guy runs over, and he's like, yes, I'm here. This is Lieutenant Colonel, I don't know, Anders, whatever his name is. And he's like, he tells him. So the Russians patch him into the Department of Defense, which is who sent them up there, and they're like, you knew about this. You knew that we were gonna die up here. Why'd you send us up here? You're evil. Get me out of here, etiquette. And he's like, no, I don't want to die down here. I have a family. And the defense guy is like, who's he talking to? He's like, you've done a great service for your country. We can't let you come home. You're infected. We'll tell your family you died a hero. And he's like, no, I'm coming up. I'm gonna get rescued. And he's like, I'm not infected. I haven't been scratched or anything. Which he has. Which he doesn't know, because he's too busy being in a panic with all of his adrenaline going. But you can tell his eyes are getting bloodshot, which is one of the symptoms of him getting infected. And he's like, no, I don't want to die. And basically, he gets everything going, and he gets patched into the Liberty, which is the orbiter that's orbiting the moon. He's like, help me. We need to sync orbit so I can get up to you. I'm not infected. They've set us up. We're all gonna die here. They sent us down here for experiment purposes. They knew about all this, and the whole rant, the whole shebang. And so he's like, okay, launch up and we'll sync orbit, and you can do a spacewalk over to me. And so he goes up. The camera goes up to the orbiter and him talking to him, and he gets patched to the Department of Defense and stops talking to him. The Department of Defense cuts him off, and he's like, do not rescue him. He is infected. If you rescue him, all communications will be cut off. Your life support will be terminated, and you will die up there. And he's like, no, I want him to rescue. No, I don't know what to do. I want to live. And so the guy down on the moon, he gets the Russian thing going and starts launching off. And right when he's about to launch off, out of nowhere, the guy who's infected just comes out of nowhere and just starts bashing on the window with a hammer. He's like, let me in, I'm not infected, we'll both die here if we don't let me in. And the guy who's uninfected in there, he's like, Nate, I can't do that. Nate's the guy's name, I just remember that. Nate's the guy's name. And he's like, Nate, I can't do that, you know that. And he's like, let me in, and starts bashing on it, and he hits it like 4 times, and then all of a sudden he just turns to his left, and just stares off, and all of a sudden you just see all of these spiders just come onto his face. And these spiders aren't big, they're huge, like, they're like as big as like my hand, they're like as big as your hand. And they all just start forming on his face, and all of a sudden just pop, not pop, and his head explodes, and all his blood just goes right onto the screen, and he's like, or right onto the window, and the guy's like, no. So he launches off, and he's about halfway, and the guy up on Liberty, he's talking to the defense still, and he's like, the defense like, you have 45 seconds to abort his rescue. And it keeps going down, and keeps going to the guy in the Russian lander and the guy in the other thing, and he's like, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, and then it goes back down to the Russian guy, or not Russian guy, the guy in the Russian lander, and he's like, I'm coming home, right? And he's like, and all of a sudden you just see all these rocks just float up, and all of a sudden they all just turn into spiders and just go boom right onto him, and you see his veins just start turning purple all over his body, and he's like, and it's just disgusting, and he like blows up pretty much on the screen. He's like, and the guy in the orbiter is like, slow it down, you're gonna crash into me, and which he can't because he's dead, so it keeps going faster. He's like, slow it down. And he realizes that he's not going to stop, and since he can't move, he's like just thinking, and he's just like, oh crap, and just all of a sudden just they're all dead. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. Just him just standing there, and all of a sudden you just hear this explosion, and it goes and then and then it goes black for like a minute, and then it says lunartruth.com, and goes black again. And that's pretty much the end of the movie, and it runs credits. And it's like, whoa, crap, did that just really happen? And yeah, it just did. So that was spoiler alert. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I thought it was pretty fun. New Grab by the Ghoulies playthroughs coming up probably tomorrow or the next day or something like that. Oh no, it's not. Tomorrow is when Dead Island comes out, so I'm gonna be doing a playthrough of that. That'll be uploaded. Actually, no, Grab by the Ghoulies will be uploaded tomorrow, and then Dead Island will be uploaded the day after that. And I'll try to upload as much as I can that week and weekend, because I start school tomorrow, which sucks balls, but you know I got to. So yeah, I guess see you guys later. Hope you enjoyed this vid. EO. Yeah. Cool beans. Follow me on Twitter. I send out updates when I'm gonna. What's it called? You guys like my snap? And I'm gonna send out updates when I'm posting videos. So at capital D, or capital D, capital J, and then code word, one word. So it's CODEWORD. So yeah, see you guys later. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't hate on me. Love you guys too. Bye bye.